Good evening. Good evening, everybody. How are you? Okay, we'll meet again this evening for something different that I was inspired actually. I didn't think it through. Hello, Jenny. Hello, M. Thank you for joining. And it's basically a journey a journey. Hello, Jessica, thank you for joining. And it's basically a journey, as you can read, journey to the tarot. This journey to the tarot, the meaning that it has for me is not only about tarot reading, which is um, during these times associated with fortune telling. And when we go back to the history of the tarot, and how they came about, how they came, they were born. Um, uh, it's um, it's everything. It's everything but fortune telling, and this is my opinion. By the way, in the past, especially during the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, the study of the tarot, especially, um, hello, Katie, especially in America, was very, very popular. I don't know right now. And there are mm, people like Rachel Pollack, Mary Greer, and also Eden Gray, that have given a great deal of of knowledge, um, a lot of study, and they have proven that the tarot, they go beyond, way beyond uh, fortune telling. I remember when I started my development a while ago, uh, doing I first did the training, how to read angel card, and then afterwards, how to read tarot. And I was very lucky to do this course with a lady from California, who basically, um, mm, I didn't know anything about tarot. This is clear, and that no, now it's not that I know more than before, but I'm always interested in deepening my knowledge. And I was really surprised to discover that was not only that was not only spreading doing a spread, and lay the cards on a table. There's all a sort of a ritual, you know y- you feeling connected uh, with um, with your deck, which is um, is a tool, to read, um, but also, what there's behind the history, the influences from different from different religions, from different um, let's call it currents like hermetism, occultism. There's in a tarot deck, there's everything. The symbolism. Um, we at times I feel like is taken for granted, like reading the meaning of the card on a book, and learning that meaning by heart and then applying to a reading, which it's can be you know can be done. Is no one is saying that, but there's also that part of ourselves, um, um, that our intuition that comes into play during a reading, and when it that happens, is not merely um, fortune telling, because that intuition is the part of us. It's our soul knowing, um, and when we put together all all the knowledge. I'm not saying that someone who wants to learn how to read the tarot um, must learn, in depth, study in depth about the Kabbalah, studying an in depth study about numerology, an in depth study about astrology and so on. But if we know enough, uh, we know enough that helps, um, that really brings us on a journey, because when mm, the tarot were created, they basically are. It's not a case that the first card um, is the Fool. The Fool represents uh, the innocence. So we travel. It's basically a journey to the discovery, not only of the outer world around us, but most importantly, it's a discovery of our inner world, of um, ourselves. Because among the other things, I forgot to say that um, the archetypes also are included in the major arcana, and that's an important part as well, because when we know, when we have um, you know a basic knowledge, a grasp of what the archetypes are, how the archetypes are represented in the major arcana, we also can get to know ourselves, help the sitter with discovery themselves, work on themselves, um, how patterns that are repeating in their lives are repeating, and why. Um, recognize um, how certain things have happened, and and help, basically. um, at the end the purpose of any kind of reading is really, you know, providing, guidance, providing support, and healing, if possible. But let's go. Um, this this our session will be mainly an introduction. I'm going to give you a little bit of basically history of the tarot. I hope you won't be it won't be boring. And then uh, we will go through the major arcana, um, and you know l- when I was gathering, I was trying to gather information on, and I would like to try to do this as, not, yes, informative, but light, and fun, most importantly fun. When I was gathering information, I remember I have I have this folder that has been on my desktop for the past 10 years, basically. And with folder named tarot. I went back into it after really a long time, and I was surprised to find how many information back then I had found about. um and what struck me back then, and when I reread it, still I could see more deeply. I could understand more deeply, as opposed to 10 years ago, is the book from Rachel Pollack, 78 Degrees of Wisdom. And even when you think at the title of the book is 78 Degrees of Wisdom. So wisdom comes from and Rachel Pollack uh, tell us how she has been a tarot reader for now nearly 50 years. And how back in hello Nikki, back in her days, she was, everything, as you know as things happen, usually are happen you know as as a joke, or you won't um, mm, you won't expect it. She got a reading from one of her students, and from there she was inspired to look into to learn how to read the tarot, but she couldn't find anything. Back then there was nobody teaching how to read tarot, except from one lady called Eden Gray, uh, who was an icon back then, was um, very well known tarot reader, and who was the first one that wrote a book on tarot reading. That the book is still available, which is called Tarot Revealed. She gives a simple but at the same time, um, description, at the same time effective description of the major arcana. And uh, the last chapter of this book, Tarot Revealed, also mentions how meditate uh, with tarot. Now, I I don't have this book, so I'm really, really intrigued about the meditation part. Because I love meditating, even though I don't mention it. I don't mention it enough, but I love meditating, and now I'm really intrigued about the part of the meditation part. Um, and then she basically um, tell us how this book helped there, and then how she started, you know, look into the history. And I was myself surprised to know, when I was doing this course here, that he initially, the tarot were basically were born during the Renaissance period. And the Renaissance period was a little bit controversial, especially in Italy. And the creation of this uh, tarocchi was like a rebellion. Um, even the depiction that were used at the time were a way, a way to a rebellious way against the establishment that back then. But anyway, um, mm, when the tarot were created, the major they were they comprised only the major arcana, and the minor arcana were added later. And basically the minor arcana reflected the normal play cards. uh, only a little bit later those were changed using court cards, and adding the four, translating basically the playing card suits into one's mm, into one's swords, cups, and pentacles. But they are basically the matching part of the playing cards. And mm, major arcana, what does it mean, major arcana? Arcana in Latin means secret. And now now it was funny was I when I linked, I use a saying, that use the word the word and the arcana has been relieved. Have been using this saying my whole life, and never understanding, never linking the. So I was also, I was laughing with myself. You see. um and they are numbered. They're used Roman numbers for the major arcana and also for the court cards. And they don't start with number one, but with the number zero, with the Fool, which is um, the the beginner the beginner journey. And basically we can divide we could split the major arcana in two, from from 1 to 10. um, they represents the our inner journey, how we get from the fool, the novice, the apprentice, the innocent, the and through, and then we get to the wheel of fortune. And there's a whole journey represented for with each arcana, with each major arcana. um, a whole story behind it, a whole behind the symbolism of uh, of each card, which at times um, we we might we might forget to look uh, into as well. Um, and then there are the second part of the major arcana, from the 11th to the 21st card, the world, which they represent how uh, we connect with the outer world, um, how we relate with the outer world. And so basically, mm, the very the first half is very important. When one of the first half appears in a reading, it's saying something about ourselves. It's saying something about um, the discovery uh, which we need to do about the self, um, which um, we can look into it from considering also numerology. Numbers are also important, and the astrology as well. And the most importantly, the archetypes. Uh, it's a journey. It's a journey of learning of selves, and it's a journey of learning um, not only of ourselves in our own world, but also of ourselves and how um, we live outside. We live in the world. Um, so the better we the better we know ourselves, the better we discover ourselves and become the, um, you know, the true self, and the better we can relate with with the world as well. Um, okay. Mm, the tarot appeared the first time in 1430 in northern Italy, and then in uh, in 1781 two French men, two Freemasons, they were interested in the occult, occult, and by the name of Antoine Court de Gebelin and Count de Melay, they they published they published an essay, essays for to be precise. They published essays on tarot, and the title of these essays is the primitive world. Um, basically they outlined a system of the tarot based on the Egyptians mm, teachings, um, and also on uh, uh, on the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Um, because all especially with regard to the Hebrew alphabet is strongly believed that has uh, mystical meanings, and I think this is we're going to cover this um, next time. Um, mm, so basically, eh, as I said before, the through the work of these two Frenchmen, and the tarot deck resulted to be basically um, to be was encompassing um, Hebrew Hebrew letters, Christian mysticism, um, pagan gods, um, astrology, numerology, and psychology. Uh, you know, that's why I I don't believe that. I don't think. No, I don't believe. I don't think that um, a tarot reading is merely fortune telling. That's there's too much in there, um, to just waiting, maybe just waiting to be uh, uh, to be brought back, um, I don't know, in uh, in the proper way. Uh, I'm I'm not an expert um, in this field, and most likely there are people among you who are mm, tarot readers who have been tarot readers for 30, 40 years, and you know these things better than I do, much better. But um, my purpose here is um, to bring these things, this wisdom uh, in a in a tarot reading, and also be, you know, opening up as a possibility uh, to others. And um, when the deck was the Rider Waite, Edward Waite was one of the members of the Order of the Golden Dawn. um, and he basically asked another member to uh, mm, to do the depiction of the tarot. There were a few changes from the original deck. The Italian Trionfi tarocchi. Um, the lady who depicted was named Pamela Coleman. And there's mm, and then the major arcana were changed slightly, but ultimately the meaning and the depiction um, resulted to be um, similar, very similar to the original. Some argued that they were different, but um, we can go. Hello, Eileen. Okay. Hi. Okay, love from Norway. I'm back to you. When I use my tarot cards on myself, I let my intuition decide if I should draw only one card or more. Sometimes it tells me to not lay them out, but just pick the card on top or at the bottom, and um, that's amazing. That's how, when we let we let our intuition guiding us. It's mm, uh, it this is also, it's also uh, part of the way we decide to use the tool. If we want to read, um, if we want do a reading using a tool, which can be an option, which can be helpful for um, the person we have sitting in front of us. um, could also, because at times can happen that uh, we have we have sitters that that are they might be a little bit uptight. So when those those that happens, it becomes a little bit, let's say, challenging reading for someone, So using when we realize, when we feel that there's not that opening, and willing, maybe there's a little bit of mistrust, maybe there's a little bit of prove yourself to me, using a tool could be helpful, because inevitably, depending, of course, depending on the um so where the tarot creating Therese, hello Therese, where the tarot created for the benefit of the reader or for the person being read. In my opinion, for the person being read. Um, because to me, as I was saying, Therese, when there's someone might come to me, to you, to everybody, and usually when people go to a reader, yes, they might be in a good space, or they might be not. So whether they do it consciously or not, could be a struggle connecting energetically with them. And that's where, either, if you prefer tarot, if you prefer an oracle card, um, it's a way, to help them relax a little bit. uh, in my at the beginning of my development, I would use a lot, not only tarot, but angel cards, uh, angel oracle cards. And in when I was reading, that makes, yes, exactly, because mm, um, most likely that not, when you're reading for someone, in the reading they come up in the reading. That's at least my experience. And at times, oh, here you are when you show, and then when you show them, you know the card to them, um, they become, it's also a way to involve them in the reading, and to bring them on the journey with you. uh, and then when when they see themselves, and you start telling them the things that they can understand, and what's happening um, to them, and so on and so forth. uh, um, the wall crumbles. The skepticism, and you can feel, the connection with them energetically is stronger, so it's easier to read for them. And that's where I let's say I would like to tweak a little bit the use of the tarot, by bringing back all the other parts that are in a tarot deck, meaning not only which arcana is associated with the sun signs, but the numerology, um, how the planets, And if someone, there is someone who is also an astrologer, I mean, I'm not, unfortunately. I'm not, not yet, not yet. Um, okay. Aileen, I had my first new tarot deck cards in my bed with me beside my pillow for a couple of nights before I used them for the first time. So that the cards would get to know my energy. Don't know if that is usual. Eileen, whatever, can I say something to you? Whatever is right for you, it's okay. I mean, there are not set rules. I mean, we need, for sure. I remember when I was using the not only the tarot, the oracle deck more for readings, connecting uh, with the deck. I know it's only, we must say, well, but it's only paper. No, it's more than that. If we think that it's only a card, a piece of paper, but if there's a sense of connection, that we want to connect with them, and I would do the same. I would do the same with them. I would hold even one card at a time, and close my eyes for a few minutes and connect with them, with the deck. I would do that, yes. um, and mm, I can also tell you that since I stopped using tools for reading, when I go back to them, it's like there's that, it's like that I know, I feel like I need to reconnect with the deck, because I haven't used it for a while, and I keep all my decks in um I saw I saw myself pouches, uh pouches, so um they are in pouches with crystals inside, to keep them clean from energies. I'm one of those who doesn't let anybody else touch touch my decks. There are people who they don't care. No, yes, you can shop. No, I don't. And so yes, there's no, do what, follow your intuition, Eileen, and what you think is, what you feel, sorry, not what you think, what you feel is right. You work with that. You read the deck, so your connection with the deck is yours, it's personal. And whatever makes you feel more connected, it's okay. Okay, Therese haven't learned cards, but recently gifted my first oracle deck, uh, Believe in Your Magic by Amanda Lovelace. Yes, Oracle decks, Oracle decks, they have a different energy, and mm, it depends on the oracle, of course, on the oracle deck. I have those as well. I love working with oracle deck too, and I can say that yes, the energy is different. um there's also same thing, in my opinion, same thing with a tarot deck, whatever deck that might be. There's need to be, you know, feeling that connection as well with the oracle, with the oracle deck. And also oracle deck as well, are, mm, they bring that insight, and um, depth of knowledge on more, mm, could be, could be on a day-to-day life, like with the tarot. And that happens more with the court cards, and the different suits. They refer more to the day-to-day life, as opposed to the major arcana. Um, yes, Megan, this is life. I don't know how am I doing it, but this is life. I have seen people who read playing cards. Is this the same approach as regular tarot? There is, I never tried. I always said no. Always wanted to try, actually, but yes, it is. Yes, it is. And let's not forget that, um, the the suits, the four suits that you find in a tarot deck. Now I know this is the Rider Waite, but I have other decks. Those basically are, they have been, the playing cards have been translated into the four suits for a tarot, included, included the knights and the queens. The pages were added separately, and I'm going to cover, this as well, the origins of the court cards, which is very, very, very interesting. Bear with me. you know I think the first three, maybe four, um, are more about how, but these are interesting things to know, um, not only as, not only as an informative things or knowledge. uh, it's also about, awareness about when we are doing a reading. Can When we are open to this knowledge, a reading um, you know can go in different ways. um, Eileen, I have a beautiful deck called Work with Your Light Oracle Cards by Rebecca Campbell. Um, I don't know how to use them. Do I know how to use them? Well, usually, okay, my Oracle. Okay, Eileen, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Uh, when I when I did this course about the back 10, now it's 10 years ago, yeah, 10 years ago, the first course I did about how to read the Angel's Oracle card, and that's the only Oracle card, the Angels I bought. I remember spending one day, believe me, one day writing down the meaning of each card, symbolism included. And when we got to the practice part, um, I I went like my intuition went on autopilot. So um, okay, thank you, Eileen. So if you feel comfortable, I'm sure that the deck came with a booklet where you can read the meaning of each card, which is not a wrong thing to do. Or you can you can try, um, you know, try and use your intuition. See, usually, when you look at a card, you are drawn towards something in the depiction. For example, um, I bought this deck for this, let's call it classes. I have been drawn, and not only since I received the deck, but also if I come across someone uses the Rider Waite tarot deck online, and I look, and I have been drawn at this color yellow, and still I am, but I can't, I can't, I can't give it um, a meaning yet. I know that I know that has a meaning because when I look at it, I'm drawn to the yellow around here, not um, to the knight to the Knight of Pentacles, and every card that has this color, this this yellow, I'm drawn to the color. So I know that the color is relevant. I know that the color has a meaning, and but still, um, there is. Does spirit think as strange for using these tools? The only tool I use so far is a pendulum, very limiting with just yes or no. Actually, I'd love buy a pendulum. Never done it. Okay, does spirit. You know, when you want to when you have to do a reading, you can ask spirit. You know, you can ask your guides. The same thing, we have a relationship with our spirit team. They are there um, to support us, to guide us, and they would tell you. They would tell you, but not for you. Remember, everything that you do in a reading is not for your benefit. Everything that you do is for the benefit of your sitter, of your client. Um, if, as I was saying earlier on, if seeing something makes them feel more comfortable, helps to helps to get them relaxed, to open up, um, because I think everybody knows what it's like reading for someone who is closed, who is not opening up to the energy, and it's mm, oh, you made yours from an old keychain. Nice, very nice. And did you use any um, did what did you use as a pendulum, Therese? That's very. See, the old, the chain is yours. The chain has your energy. Oh, thank you, Eileen. Thank you. Um, um, and I'm not here to say now that a reading should be based solely on tools, because when I do my readings, I always say, they are a crutch. But what is intriguing me, um, wedding rings and necklaces together make a great pendulum. Ah, yeah, I didn't know that, Veronica. What basically is intriguing me, and I'm interested in, with the tarot, is, all of this is revamp. Let's put it this way. All these traditions that has been encompassed in a deck. Um, mm, and in my opinion, and this is only my opinion, the a tarot deck, I would use a tarot deck only for a psychic reading, not to connect with spirit, even though I have had experiences. I have experienced in the past, when I was starting. It's like you start the psychic reading and then a spirit comes in. That has happened, but once spirit comes in, you can't stop them, tell them, no, sorry, I'm doing a psychic reading, stay there. um uh, but the intention behind is just um to use it for a psychic reading, and not, you know always. Um okay. Okay, I I hope that uh the this first um meeting with you was interesting, and uh, informative enough. And I will see you again next Monday, and we'll go next Monday. We'll go through the major arcana, the minor arcana, and possibly the court cards too, and how they are linked uh, to our history. Okay, thank you for those who came live here. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and thank you to those who will watch in the replay. And I'll see you next Monday. And tomorrow there's Anita at 5 p.m. for and healing at 6. And I'll see you again. Yes, Veronica is right. I'll see you again on Saturday evening for the other readings. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a nice evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in the world.